I'm Gina. I moved to Fresno 30 years ago from the Bay Area, and prior to that I lived in Florida for a couple years and came back to California where my grandparents were and a lot of family, and definitely I'm a California girl. You know what they say about Fresno, once you come here it's really hard to leave. I also love to golf. I play in a lot of charity golf tournaments around town, and golf's a very interesting sport. It's such a mind game, really. And you hit the little ball, but you could do one little thing different each time and get a different outcome. I'm a securities financial advisor. I work with my husband and he is a great mentor, and that's what I really love about my job, is that I get to work with my husband every day, and we have an art gallery in our office as well, which is really interesting because we get to feature local artists and have parties and get-togethers. We were at an estate sale and we purchased a piece of art, and so I was carrying it out to the car and I stepped right off the curb without knowing I was at the end. My body took a real impact. A few days later, I started experiencing a lot of pain in my ribs area, and the doctor said I'd cracked some ribs. I've been somewhat accident prone my whole life, so I just figured, oh well, another broken bone, it'll heal and we'll move on. But this time it was a little bit different. A friend of ours, Dr. Chris Perkins, who's an oncologist here in Fresno, was sitting in my living room and saw me hobbling around, and he said, "What is going on with you? Why are you still limping around?" And I said, "I don't know." And so I went to get an MRI and then a blood test, and within about a week and a half of that time, he called my husband and said, "You need to get your wife to the emergency room right now." They told me I had stage 3 multiple myeloma and that my organs were all shutting down, and to get my affairs in order, and that was a shock. Well, what's interesting, when you're on the go all the time, and that's your personality, and then you have no choice because your body basically shut down and said, you're gonna die, you think quickly about what is the most important thing. And really, the important things aren't things at all. They're really people and relationships and experiences, and not material things. So I was a blood donor. I have a rare type of blood. I have A negative. And so I always got the phone call, "Hey, you have a rare type of blood. We're in need of your blood. Can you come down?" It's like every 8 weeks I got that phone call. And so I had no problem giving. I wanted to give, and it was just something I knew that was a civic responsibility for me. But I didn't really stop to think that, wow, maybe someday I might need blood. But it was when I received blood, it kind of changed my whole perspective. Yeah, even though I can no longer donate, I think I can do a lot more work in the world of donating blood by encouraging others to give that maybe have never had the opportunity to give because maybe they're scared or maybe they just haven't taken that time. I can really encourage them and give them lots of great reasons why they should donate. And then I can also encourage those that are giving to continue giving and kind of be a cheerleader for them. I'm Gina Estrada, and I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma cancer. If you don't know what multiple myeloma is, I'll share that with you in a few moments. But I was talking on the phone this morning with my brother, who wasn't able to be here today because he got called away to work. And he asked me, he said, "Are you nervous?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous." And he said, "Well, just look at it this way. You're alive and you're able to stand up in front of all those people today and speak." And I said, "You know, you're right. I'm just a little bit nervous, but I'm really proud to be here with you today, and I really thank you for all that you do." I have my timer going, so I won't hold you too long. But I do want to share some things. I was invited to speak to you here today by Leslie Botus, the Director of Community Relations and Development with the Central California Blood Centers. And we were having a conversation that she hears a lot from donors who may have been giving donations for a lifetime, but never really had the chance to talk to a recipient or hear stories about, how the blood really did save lives. So that's kind of what I'm here today to share with you a little bit about my story, and that maybe the next time you're donating, you might just take a moment to think that truly you are making a difference in someone's life. And maybe some of you here today, I now have a part of you. So I have a rare blood type. I said on the video I'm A negative. Do we have any other A negative people in the room? Can you stand up? I want to see. I think there's about 6% of us that are A negative donors. Awesome. Keep standing, keep standing. How about any O negative? O negative? Awesome. There's a very good chance in here that one of you here today has actually saved my life, and I appreciate you. I have been a donor over the years, and I never thought that I would be a recipient. Not one time did it ever occur to me that one day I may need blood. I don't know, maybe if you've had that same experience, but when I received blood, I just really took a moment when I was in the hospital, and I just thought, wow, I've been donating all these years. I never thought that I would need blood. And it just brought on a whole new meaning for blood donation. So I want to begin by acknowledging a couple people that came here with me today. These people jumped right in, rolled up their sleeves, and helped me out when I needed it the most. They were kind of my 24-hour caretakers. It's my husband, Bob, my mom, Kathy, my professional caretaker, Lane, who's now become a part of our family, and my son, Christian, that are here today. These people jumped in and took care of me when I was bedridden for 45 days. I could not get out of bed. I'm so thankful for them. They made a great team. And in addition, they're all blood donors. All right, so now everyone around me has to be a blood donor now, but they were already donating and really appreciate it and hope that they will continue. So I'm going to share kind of how I came to need blood, and then what I learned about being diagnosed with cancer, and how now I'm being a good steward of the blood that you gave me. By the way, if there's anybody here in the room that does not know what blood type you are, I have a secret. All you have to do is call 389-5433, that's 389-LIFE, make an appointment to give blood, donate, and they will tell you what type of blood you have. And they do it for free, right? So let's make sure you know what blood type you are. If you're in the room today, I really want you to know. So, and they give you great snacks. I think someone alluded to that earlier. I love the zingers. Do you guys like zingers? Yeah. I always looked forward to that. It was a great excuse to have junk food. Anyway, you can find out for free. And you can share that with others too. I think, I heard someone recently told me, oh, I don't even know what kind of blood I have. I'm like, really? I have a great way you can find out. Now it's kind of my opener when I meet people and I'm wanting to encourage them to give. So my husband and I have been active in our community here, supporting a lot of nonprofit organizations like Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Fresno Art Museum, our professional organization, the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, as well as the March of Dimes, Heart Association, several in our community. But when I got sick, I was actively sitting on 2 boards and serving on a committee. So even though I was sick, I did fulfill all my commitments. But I decided at that time to just take a step back, not make any more commitments until I was well enough to give more of my time and energy and really focus on something that I was passionate about. And Leslie made a call to me
a few months back, and she said, Gina, we're going to have our donors appreciation lunch. I would love for you to come and share because people really want to meet someone that's been a recipient of the blood. And I thought, okay, let me think about it for a night, because that's my new routine now. Don't just say yes to everything, but really sit back and, think about it, pray about it, and decide if it's really something I want to give my time and efforts to. And the answer was 100% yes. So I feel really good about being able to be here with you today and giving of my time and energy. That's one of the lessons I learned from being diagnosed with cancer is you can't do everything all the time 100% without taking care of yourself. Especially this time of year, people get a little rushed and hurried because it's the holidays. And I encourage everyone now to just take a deep breath and think about where you're going and what you're doing. Just take a couple extra seconds. I don't know if you guys have been on the road lately, but do you notice that it's kind of crazy out there driving? Because everyone's like, hurry on to the next thing, or going to the next sale, and bye, 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 and all that. So if all of us in this room just take a second and a deep breath and think about where we're going and what we're doing, I think we'll all be much better, and hopefully less people will have the need for blood. Another thing I learned from being diagnosed with cancer is the importance of a morning routine. September 6th, I was told to get to the hospital, the emergency room, and I remember driving down Fryant with my husband, and I really didn't know why I was going to the emergency room. All I knew is I was going to get some help for the pain I was in. My body was just in so much pain. And I'm going to read to you a little bit about the reason why I was in that pain. I have to read it from my handbook, it's a little technical. So multiple myeloma is a cancer of the plasma cells, a type of white blood cell in the bone marrow that is responsible for making antibodies. In Greek, the language of most medical terms, myelo refers to blood-producing cells in the bone marrow, and oma refers to tumor or mass of cancer cells. A malignant or cancerous tumor or plasma cell is called a myeloma cell. Myeloma most often grows in the marrow within the bones of the spine, skull, pelvis, rib cage, shoulders, and hips. Usually the bones of the hands and feet of the lower parts of the arms and legs are not affected, preserving the function of these critical areas. So I stepped off a curb in May, broke some ribs, thought they were just broken ribs, but I wasn't healing. And the reason why is because I had stage 3 multiple myeloma, and I was walking around with a broken shoulder, ribs, spine, pelvis, whatever else. I had fractures all over my body, and then once I hit that emergency room, I literally could not walk any longer and had to spend the next 45 days in bed. They diagnosed me with multiple myeloma and told me to get my affairs in order, and then said, well, we're going to give you some blood, some medication, some chemotherapy, and you might live, or if you don't take those things, you'll die. So, guess what I did? I was a willing participant of taking of blood and chemotherapy and pain medication, which my life was really down to 4-hour increments because I could get my pain medication every 4 hours. And so I was very well aware of every 4 hours, because by the few minutes before that 4th hour, the pain would come on so strong, and then the pain medication would come, and then I'd be able to think for till the next go-round. It's hard to describe how much pain I was in, but the morning routine that I had played a key role in how I continued on and how I maintained a healing mindset in the midst of what was a huge panicky time, chaos and confusion around. I knew that I was okay. If it were my time and I was going to die, I was going to be okay with it, and I wanted those around me to be okay with it, but there was something inside of me that just said, I don't think it's your time. There's more work to be done. And so I just decided that that's what was going to happen. I was going to work, and I worked my butt off for a long time, especially to get out of that bed and be able to maneuver again. First into a wheelchair, then a walker, then a cane, and now I'm sort of walking on my own now. It's still a little bit painful, but through physical therapy and exercising and doing the right things. It's getting better. But there's some famous, successful people who share the importance of a morning routine. Winston Churchill, Steve Jobs, Tony Robbins, Benjamin Franklin, Ernest Hemingway, just to name a few. They all have structured morning routines. And what the morning routine did for me was gave me a place to put my cancer. Because I had already practiced and developed it, it was just easy to take on that diagnosis, put it somewhere, and deal with it mindfully. And so my morning routine consists of, first thing, waking up, being grateful, acknowledging the things that I'm grateful for. And back then, it was just really being grateful for being able to wake up and have another day on this earth. There are so many things I'm grateful for, but I really, every morning, would just pick a few things and take a moment, pray and meditate, repeat affirmations, positive affirmations over and over, visualize what I need to do to get better and how I'm going to make tomorrow better than it was the day before. And then read something positive, whether it's great quotes or an uplifting poem or the Bible, or just staying in that positive mindset. And also journaling, writing things down. Took a lot of notes on my experience being in the hospital, experience being in bed for 45 days, experience in really getting to know my friends and family that came to my bedside. I learned that there's a reason beyond why they were there with me, and I really dug deep. And a lot of our relationships now are strengthened because of that. They may have come to my bedside because they're my friend, and that's what friends do, but there was a lot more below the surface, and so I really learned to remain present and be thankful for them and look for that reason why they were with me during that time. I wish I could tell you all those stories, because there are really a lot of uplifting stories there, but you know, that's something you can do in your daily life. When you meet somebody, you can just, rather than going, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. You know, you can really stop and take a moment, dig a little deeper, find out really what's going on with your friends and how you can be there and be supportive and build a community. So, how I'm being a good steward of your blood. Now that I can no longer donate, I can be your cheerleader, and I will definitely be on your side, cheering you along the way to continue donating. And then also I can be a recruiter of those that haven't donated before. I'm really excited about that. I have a personal goal for next year. In fact, I've already scheduled, my first blood drive at the office for January 23rd. Is it 23rd? Yeah. January 23rd, 2018 from 10 to 2. And so my goal is to get that done about every 8 weeks next year. I can also talk to groups and organizations about the importance of giving. And I have participated in a compilation book called Launch, Let Your Setbacks Propel You Forward. So I wrote a chapter in the book that'll be coming out December 22nd, and the ebook should be coming out tomorrow. And I'm in the midst of writing my own book as well about kind of my cancer journey and what I learned from it, and how it's titled, When Life Throws You a Curve. And it's a handbook for newly diagnosed and their people that care, how they can help them when they get that life-changing diagnosis. So hopefully that'll be out first quarter of next year. On December 11th, along with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, I will be hosting our first in the Valley in a long time, a multiple myeloma support group for patients, their family members, caregivers, medical professionals that are attached to multiple myeloma in the Valley. And so we'll be having that once a month. And that's just another way that I felt was important to be able to give back, share what I've learned about multiple myeloma and how I got through all the steps that it took to get here. I don't know if I mentioned, I had a stem cell transplant in April, which was really interesting. And again, I received both platelets and red blood cells at that time as well. So I've actually been through 2 rounds of blood recipient. Let's see. I don't know, what else? I'm just really happy and thankful that I was able to stand in front of you today, and thank you for what you do. Donating blood is good for your health. Did you guys know that? Did you know that the removal of the oxidative iron from the body through your blood donations means that there's less iron oxidation in your blood, therefore reducing your chance of cardiovascular disease? So it's actually really good for your health. Yeah, great. You make life-saving impact on our community, and it's a great excuse to have zingers. So anyway, I would love to connect with you on social media. There's a lot we could do to really get the word out that people need to donate through social media. The Blood Center has a Facebook page. If you haven't liked it already, you might want to get on Facebook, like it, and then share what they have posted so that other people can see it too. Anyway, donors, you're awesome. The blood you donate gives someone another chance at life, and one day that someone, maybe your close relative, a friend, a loved one, or even yourself. I'm Gina Estrada. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Gina, thank you so much for sharing today, for having blood drives, for bringing up the fact that she may have O negative, your O negative, and A negative coursing through your veins. And could I have the hands again of someone, all of you who are O negative? I need to see you at 2 o'clock at Sierra Vista Mall today. We have a bit of a shortage of O negative, and if you are, get over there, because someone like Gina is going to be waiting for you to do what's right. Mother has spoken. Gina, we have this for you to put on your desk so that every time someone comes in the door, they will ask you what it's for, and you can share the importance of blood donation. The yellow in this is platelets, the red is packed red blood cells, and the blue is that all of your skies be blue for a very long life. Gina was so easy. I said, I'll take you out to lunch or breakfast or something. She just said yes without having to be bribed. So, but when I was with her, her phone died. So Gina, we have for you, because you're going to be really busy as an advocate for blood donation, there is a charger that will charge your iPad, your computer, and your phones. Bob, you need to get her some more. This is not yours, so that you can do our important work.